Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at the War Memorial Auditorium. This is AFC 10, October 30th in the year 2004. I am Wade Rome, the voice of the AFC. Joining me tonight is my partner in crime, Dean De Niro Thomas. Dean, what up?
What up, man? You know we here doing our thing. It's good to be here. Always a pleasure sitting next to you, Wade.
I couldn't imagine life without you, man. You're like my little blackhead. Just carry you around on my shoulder.
Okay. I'll take that compliment, but that's the last one you got for
That's
tonight.
the last one.
That's
Otherwise,
the last
you're going
one.
to
That's
whoop
the
my
last
white
one.
ass.
They're going to add
all
another
about
fight
it.
to this card.
Well, fight of the night starting off tonight is Pat Healy taking on Dan Hardy. Dean, what do you know about these guys, man?
Well, I know that Pat Healy he's a veteran, true veteran, and he just got off some good shots right there.
Hardy is in the black hot blood pants.
Yeah, Hardy's he's from London, and he's just recently started training with the American top team.
Well, I tell you what, they are ready to exchange here, and that is a nice takedown by Pat Healy on Dan Hardy, landing in side control. Hardy has a MMA record of 2-1. What do you know about Healy?
Healy's got a record of 11-5. That's why I said he was a veteran early on. He knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of ring experience. He knows how to win. He's beaten 11 guys. He knows, and he's setting up for the arm lock here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get it.
Hardy doing
Hardy.
a
He's
nice
doing a nice job of recovering.
Yeah, coming right back into the single
I
leg.
don't think he expected that big takedown. He did a nice job of recovering, and I think he's going to be able to get his game back now.
Actually surprisingly composed for 3 fights to get slammed like that and to retain your composure.
Oh, absolutely.
But Healy doing a nice job with a little inside trip, or uchimata, as we would say in judo.
Healy looks to be a little bit stronger of the two, but it's still early on in the fight. You know, once these guys get going, their blood stops pumping at that rate. It slows down. We're going to really see the skill level between these two guys.
You know, that's an interesting point that you bring up, Dean. I've noticed a lot in the first minute or two of a fight, you will see one fighter looking superior in strength. But I tell you, once the conditioning and that starts to kick in, you know, the strength seems to even out a lot.
Yeah, well, these guys are in a fishbowl. Everybody's watching. The lights are on them. So, you know, that first initial 2 minutes, you know, one guy or both guys are just going really crazy. But Hardy seems to be, you know, composing himself and trying to pace himself here. And Healy seems to be taking advantage of that and trying to, you know, establish positions and going to try to win the round from that.
Well, I tell you, he did give a position here to Hardy, to Healy. But, you know, he's working from this position. He's done a relatively good job of holding the fists, or holding his gloves, but he has taken a few fists to the head here.
Well, he's in a bad position. He looks like he wanted to go for the leg lock. And I think that's a little bit of inexperience on his part, kind of just sitting there and taking some big shots right there. He needs to either move or get out of there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dean, I didn't mean to step over there. I think the ref just warned Healy for a punch to the back of the head.
Well, in that position, it's kind of hard to not punch a guy in the back of the head. He's on his back, and you know, and if you cover up, you either don't punch at all, or
the ref calls time.
Well, you see, that's a little unfortunate for Healy.
Penalize him 1 point. And, you know, Dean, like I said, I think that's kind of a bullshit call. When you have the back like that and you're punching to the ear, I mean, what's the discerning point? You know, you need to draw a line on the guy's, head to sort of, okay, don't hit past here.
Yeah, that was a bad call for Healy. A bad break for him, definitely. He lost the position.
Yep.
And
well, Healy's bleeding, and he takes Hardy right back to the mat.
Again, you see the experience in the two fighters. You know, it just doesn't seem like Hardy right now has the experience to hang with Healy, because Healy seems to got his rhythm down. He came out really hard, and he seems to keep that pace, and he has his rhythm, and he's definitely taking advantage of the situation here.
Healy with a cradle, interesting position. He put his head into the rib here. He could certainly secure the position.
Yeah. I think Hardy now, he needs to really figure out what his game plan and strategy needs to be here, because he hasn't really won the stand-up battles.
This guillotine is something that's looking pretty tight here.
Oh, yeah, if he can establish his position, maybe drop down into his guard. And
I tell you, it was a tough angle, but it almost looked as though Hardy went to tap.
Yeah, that's definitely an inexperience on Hardy's part to not. He's not even trying to defend the guillotine. He's trying to get the takedown, and he's tapping down there.
That's it.
Yeah, that was definitely an inexperience on his part. He didn't even try to defend the guillotine. He just went straight for the takedown. And the choke was too tight for him.
Yep. I agree, Dean. I think that was just a matter of inexperience, not knowing what to do from, the guillotine. And you know what's interesting is when you come from a striking background like Hardy does, the hardest, it's I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dean, but I think it's easier to learn striking, at least in a minimal amount, than it is to learn grappling.
Well, yeah. Well, the reason being is because in a striking, in an MMA fight, you strike for maybe the first 3 seconds, and then one guy clinches, and then it goes to the ground. So all you really have to have is good reflexes and a good 1-2 just to get it to the ground. And and in this fight here, that's all we saw was maybe a 1-2 combination, then it went to the ground.
Right. Well, I don't think that Hardy looked particularly bad. A little bit of a mismatch from an experience standpoint, 16 fights taken on 3. But, hey, this is the way you learn, and hopefully, Hardy will be back for another day in the ring.
Hopefully, definitely.
Nice round of applause for both fighters, please.
So we go back to the ring here.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Marco Lopez stops this bout at 3 minutes, 50 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by tap out, Pat Healy.
So Pat Healy victorious over Dan Hardy at 3 minutes and 50 seconds of round 1. Referee stoppage by tap out.